Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how Funko has a brand new CEO just in time to put everything on sale.
Collecting is the way. Now let's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Collector Chatter. This is episode 140. I am Migs here with Charlie. What's up, Charlie? What's going on? We have a great episode
Yeah,
today.
we
I'm
do. A
excited.
lot of Funko again. A lot
Yes.
of good, bad,
Going back to our
worse.
roots, man.
Back to our roots, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk
Back to
about
our Funko
Funko.
roots. They're like kind of actually in the news again for a lot of different things, which I am excited to talk about, especially being our main topic. Which is going to be about that, their new CEO.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you said, there's a lot of stuff we're going to cover today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the news with the CEO. It happened essentially right when our last episode
I know,
dropped,
which
but
we were,
we weren't
yeah.
able to really talk about it. You did put a little short up, kind of gave a little bit of your thoughts, but we're going to kind of go back and forth on what we think of obviously this new hire. What could it mean for Funko? Just to give our thoughts, because we love doing that, and
Yeah.
this is a perfect thing to talk about. And then we're going to get into some other things as well with Funko. Like I said, it was perfect timing because now we're getting that just massive dump of product because they're going to have that huge sale. We'll get more details about what that specifically means. It's funny because we've hinted towards this in the last few episodes. Like, this is going to happen towards the end of the year anyways. They always do it, and it's happening now. But there are some announcements, some exclusives,
Yeah.
some weird, crazy stuff going on with that. And then even some stuff that's not Funko related with some stuff that's going to be dropping, cards, collectibles, and stuff like that we are excited for as well. So this episode will kind of be just packed with a lot of that kind of stuff. But we will start it off with the CEO talk. So we can start it off there. So, of course, if you guys don't know, I'm sure everyone who's into Funko or at this point, follow dish trackers even,
Yeah.
you know what's going on. So Josh Simon is the latest person to be named actual CEO of Funko. Of course, we had the other Michael Lunsford, running the little interim for a little while.
Yep.
It was very short lived. I'm
Yeah,
honestly
this
kind of
is a
surprised how
quick,
fast this
yeah.
happened.
I do agree. It happened very quick.
Yeah, which I was like a good thing or bad thing, but I guess we will see because the last CEO was also short lived. She barely made it over a year. So we'll kind of start there. You can talk about what you think, obviously this means specifically for Funko, and then we'll get into kind of like what you think about him and what maybe he's
Yeah.
going to bring to Funko. But he seems completely different than Cynthia that we had before. So
Completely different. And to go off kind of what you just said, I do think that it was so quick. It is a good thing because I think he was a candidate that was just almost too good to be true for Funko, and they could not pass it up. Um, I think this is a great thing for Funko. And just to give a little bit about Josh, I mean, he comes from a consumer products background for, I think two of the biggest companies in the world. He's coming from Netflix, where he ran point on that. Before that, he worked for Disney. And then even before that, he worked for Nike. So, I mean, I think just the track record speaks for himself. He knows, once again, consumer products. He was the guy, probably, I mentioned this in my short, he's probably was, in conversations with Funko. Someone over at Funko when they're licensing their products. I mean, Netflix is one of their biggest, I feel like at this point, partners. I mean, basically every show that comes on Netflix that anyone's talking about, that's like a cultural, water cooler type show, gets Funko Pops. Not only they get Funko Pops, I mean, they get Loungefly bags. They get, I mean, they're in Biddy. They're in everything. So I think he already knows that part of the business. He's like a young executive. I mean, this is a huge, obviously he was not a CEO at any of those companies. So this is like, I'm sure he's hungry. He wants to succeed. I would think he likes the product and believes in it. I'm actually pretty bullish about this and excited. When I saw this, I was like, wow. Like, I could not believe Funko got a candidate like this. Because sometimes I feel you either get someone who's up for a challenge or someone doesn't want to touch the company with a 10-foot pole because they think it's just going to fail, if that makes sense. Where, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, those are my quick thoughts. I think it's great, and I'm excited. I think he's going to do well for Funko. And if he doesn't, there's no one saving Funko, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because yeah, he seems like he's a little bit younger, fresh. He's got like he's probably got his ear a little bit more to the ground when it comes to these kind of things. Like you said, he's coming from obviously a massive company in Netflix. He previously worked for another massive company in Disney, and he previously worked for another massive company in
Yeah.
Nike. So like he has kind of been there for like the big companies, and his part obviously isn't what he's specifically doing now. Obviously, he was never a CEO. It doesn't even seem like he was really that high up in that type of position. It was more like the head of like products, consumer products. He was, I believe they said he ran some like special events and things, which we all kind of know Netflix was big on doing, especially here being local to the East Coast. New York always had like pop-ups
Yeah.
where like, Stranger Things would have a pop-up somewhere and things like that. So
And I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure he like reported to the CEO. So I
yeah,
mean, he was
so
a high
yeah,
up
I'm sure
executive. Yeah.
he exactly. So it does seem like he kind of knew what he was at least
Yeah.
talking about or whatever. And if, he was, we don't know exactly what he did in those like event things, but
Yeah.
let's say he was a big part of bringing those together, or a big part of like the brain behind what was going to happen. If that's like at all a thing, that's huge because we said like the CEO needed to be like what Mike was essentially, like in the sense of like the events and the excitement and just bringing things, the fun back right in Funko. And that seems like something that he potentially could be. Again, this guy could be a total dud. He can get in there and it's just a mess. Who knows? But from what we have to go by, which is a little bit of his history, what companies he's been with, what partnerships he probably does have. So it obviously seems like he's good with relationships because
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's had a lot because of his specific roles in his other companies. Like you said, maybe he's already kind of been tied into Funko in a way with like their products and us getting, the licensings on this end for Netflix products. And
Yeah.
obviously Funko is massive with the Netflix side of things, like they love their shows and, Stranger Things, Squid Game, like those are some of their massive lines specifically because of those shows, right? Or,
Yeah.
from them. So what is interesting is going to be like, is he like, what is he like personally? Like, is he a collector? Does he like, enjoy these things? And I feel like being in a company, especially like Netflix, what he was specifically doing, I feel like you kind of like have to be a little
I
bit of
agree.
like
I
that
feel like
nerdum, right? Like
yep, I
you would
agree.
think you kind of like have that. But again, we're just totally going off of text from
Just
a few things and
speculation.
randomly
Yeah.
knowing about this guy that we knew nothing about before. Um, but I think like it's a change. It seems like it's going to be a very big change compared to what we did have because we were very skeptical of when Cynthia kind of came through. We met her, which was great. She seemed like a super nice person, and there was nothing against her, but we kind of had our doubts on like, is she really fit for this company? Will she bring it to where it needs to be? And clearly she did not do well because she was gone right after a year. That's like crazy fast for,
Yeah.
a massive company like that was CEO, right? And like we saw losses, we saw lots of money that they were losing, lots of things that were happening that we
I
just
don't think she brought anything to the table, and like
I,
no shade at her, but maybe she didn't have enough time to make
yeah, I mean, to
change.
do
But
it in a
like,
year it probably is hard, but I'm assuming you got to see growth in a way. Like
yeah.
it's not like 0 to 100, but
What's
if you're
also
going
interesting,
backwards, it's just
if
it's
you
not good.
remember, she came from Wizard of the Coast.
Yeah, which then started going crazy and
Magic's
and
hotter than ever
Magic,
since she's
yeah,
been God, which
Magic's
isn't,
going
maybe
insane.
that's a weird coincidence, but
Yeah. So I mean, so specifically here, just to kind of be more specific to what this Variety
yep.
actual post said, because obviously we're just kind of speaking, but I'm going to read a little bit here. So obviously he served as Netflix VP of Consumer Products. He was leading its global merchandise business, which that's a big thing there. It's
Yeah.
global. Live experiences. Like I was saying, he launched more than 40 experiences across 300 cities. So he was part of exactly what I was saying, like doing those big, those things. And then he oversaw products for top franchises, including Stranger Things, Bridgerton, Squid Game, like I just said.
Yeah.
He also launched Netflix e-commerce platform. So that was another thing I wanted to bring up for consumer products and manage relationships with Walmart, Target, Primark, and other major retailers. So he obviously has that relationship. He's dealt with retailers, which we know Funko and retailers right now are a little bit of a mess,
Yeah,
especially the big major ones. The e-commerce side of things, like he obviously knows what he's doing on that aspect. So like, is that everything that Funko needs? Like, yeah, 100% they need all that. There's other things that we have kind of said like Funko needs in a leader, not just like only someone who does this, because we also don't want Funko to become a Mattel or Hasbro or anything. So that's where it's going to be interesting. What's going to happen when he
agreed.
comes in, and what's his vision for the company? Is he looking to bring it back to its old days? Does he have a completely different vision that we're not even thinking about? So that's what's going to be like. I don't know. I can't really guess, but like, what do you think? Like, would be the
Yeah,
smarter thing to do?
I think his first task is going to clean them up and try to make them profitable. Um, I think the thing I really like about him from what I've read, and I know we always make these comparisons between like Mike and Brian, he's definitely gonna be more like a Brian. Like I can say that. Like I don't think the way Brian is handling Throwjoy right now, I think this is how Josh is gonna be. Like I don't think he's gonna be like the face of this company. He's gonna be like a CEO that you'll see when there's important events or they're making announcements. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going to see him on social media, for example. Like I don't think we're going to get a mic like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think he's going to try to do the vision that I think kind of was talked about a few years ago that just Cynthia didn't really do. I think he's going to, you know, hold, be more tight and get rid of a lot of junk stuff we don't need. I do think he'll probably listen and get into a collector's mind, but he also knows big global markets and he's going to want to make money. Um, and I think he's going to only want to make things that he knows will probably make them money,
Yeah.
which could be bad news for certain people. Like, I think the days of maybe making lines that not many people are going to want, he'll probably be like, yeah, no, we don't need. And he probably knows how a lot of the Netflix and Disney stuff does, which will be interesting to see if he still leverages those relationships he has and they double down more on stuff like that. But not to be long-winded, like I think he may want to go more into a Hasbro type area, but he may do it in a smart way where maybe they will finally be like, this is our collector product. This is our mass produced product. We've always said like Funko's never been able to actually figure that out. It's either been one or all or nothing, or it's just a
Mm-hmm.
mess. I think, and especially if I were him, that should be his goal, to figure out how to make both people happy, because they just haven't been able to do that in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that I think they need to figure out. And I started thinking like, clearly you're going to take a job like this because you're the CEO, right? Like you're
Yep.
the top of the chain. You're not like reporting to as many people besides like shareholders and stuff. But um, it makes you like think like what does he want to do with this, because he's leaving like a massive company that is on the up. Like
Yes.
Netflix is clearly just growing. They're
Exactly.
like doing a lot, and that space that he was in, I mean, but then again, he left the Nike, he left the Disney. Like those are companies you would also think like,
Yep.
why are you gonna leave
He's
those
clearly a
companies, right?
hot rising star. I mean, he just keeps
Yeah.
climbing up the ladder.
Exactly. So he kind of knows his trajectory and what he wants to do. But he did have a quote here, which I think was kind of interesting, and it kind of touches base on a little bit of some stuff that you, in a way, kind of mentioned. But he specifically says, "I'm honored to join the team at Funko, an iconic company with a huge fan base that I admire and respect." So he already kind of knows a
Yep.
little bit about what he's getting into, right? Pop culture and people's desire to connect with the lifestyle brands they love is stronger today than ever. There are so many ways we can build on Funko's fandom and expand our business for the benefit of both customers and shareholders. So he clearly, I mean, he's obviously saying all the right things when it comes to companies and
Yeah.
shareholders and all that kind of stuff, but he's clearly saying, like, one, which is probably the number one thing, is you got to make money. You
Yeah.
got to be profitable. You got to be making money. He understands that the company was not making money. That's going to be the biggest thing, right? Can you make us money? But I like that he still put in there Funko's fandom. He put in the customers. He put that in there because it does like lead us to believe at least that he understands that not just going crazy thinking he's going to make money and forgetting about who the people are that are buying these things and our
Yeah.
collectors and our fans. He has to worry about both. And it looks like Cynthia, based off of kind of what it seems like, probably thought it was just like, oh, let's just do all this stuff. We could put a bunch of stuff out there. We're going to make all this money. And
Yeah.
didn't realize what kind of company Funko really was in terms of like their customers and the people who are hardcore
Yes.
fans and loyal fans. So if he's going to do that, and he already is starting to talk like that, like I don't think I heard anything similar to that with Cynthia when she first came through. It seems like we're on a better trajectory at least, and who knows how long until we really know, but hopefully he lasts longer than a year, I would hope.
Yeah, I think he's gonna last long on the air. I think he like officially takes post September 1st.
Yes.
But yeah, like I love that you just said that quote, and I also just think he knows the power of fandoms because that is legitimately what has built Netflix.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially during his tenure there. Like Netflix is a beast of its own. Obviously, Disney has its long legacy history where they're obviously Disney, but Netflix, just like you said, they continue to grow and grow, and they, when they have a hit, it's unlike anything else. Like everyone is talking about them, and I actually think there isn't a company out there that they went from having like it's funny because I am a merch whore. They went from like never having anything for their shows to realizing this is really important and we need to tap in. And like how he said, the pop culture lifestyle. So once again, I think he just understands the market and what people want.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely like I was saying, he has his ear to the ground. He knows, like he's not just up there as a suit. Like he knows
Exactly.
a lot more. So it definitely seems good. I mean, the only I think like negative things or things that we can maybe take back is like he hasn't really been a CEO. He hasn't run this type of company. The company is very, and we said this back when Cynthia took over, like it's not like you're any other company. Like Funko really is different in the terms of like the people that are buying it do matter, and you can't just think you're going to make money if you're not being smart.
I think it's exciting though because it is a new challenge for him. It won't be the status quo. He's going to want to be successful. He's probably going to take risks, and he's not just going to come in and be some guy who just cleans their books and calls it a day. Like, it does feel like he is excited about this job. He wasn't just like a safe hire.
Yeah, I can also see him. It just kind of seems like this, like being the type of person that also will understand that he's going to need a perfect team to help him.
100%.
And like you said, like he'll be more the Brian than he will the Mike, obviously. Like, and it does seem like he is like that, but he seems like the person that understands he may need a Mike or he may need someone that he can appoint to do.
You're only as good as the team you build around you,
and things like that,
which they haven't had.
Yeah, and that was even before Cynthia. We saw that kind of slowly starting to crumble with them, and we pointed it out 100 episodes ago, probably about where the social media, where like all that kind of stuff was going, and like how it wasn't helping.
Which I hope he does fix that part of the company too. Not to go off on a tangent, but like they just haven't been doing much there either.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's could be because of this weird transitional period, but I'm actually excited to, before we move on to another comment, he may just do he's probably going to clean house too, which I think is good. I feel bad for people who will lose their job. I understand that. I've experienced that in my own life. It's just business, and he's probably going to want a fresh set of eyes, and I wouldn't even be surprised if he get some people to come over that he's worked with him in the past.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah,
totally.
So,
but who knows? It seems like that works because we know other companies that kind of did that, brought some people and right hand man.
Exactly,
and it's helped them out. So obviously, I'm sure he will have a lot of say in that to kind of get his own team going. But yeah, that's kind of where we think things are going against still early on. September will be when he's officially on board. Hopefully we'll start seeing more things, more things that he comes out, whether he's saying or being online or an appearance or something. It would be nice to kind of see him speaking
Agreed.
in a way to kind of see what's going on. It'll be right, before
New
New
York
York
Comic
Comic
Con.
Con. So, like, what is he gonna do there? I mean, I'm sure he can only do so much, just really just jumping in. But it will be interesting to see going into the holiday season, kind of like what direction we think they're gonna be going. So something that's kind of going on the other end of things where we think it's just a mess, and this has happened a lot with this company. And of course, we can't blame it on him because he's not
Yeah,
official yet, so it's not really his fault,
not
right?
him.
Is there mass site-wide sales? And they do this a lot, and it's funny because, like, I don't hate when they have sales. Obviously, it's nice. You get stuff for
Who doesn't
cheap.
like
You
a
get
sale?
whatever. Like, of course, you like things on sale, but it's just kind of, I guess, the way it happens, how big of 70% off, up to 70% off. They've done this in the past. It's the whole site type of thing. And you could just kind of really tell that it's like offloading. Like, they just have too much stuff. They're trying to get rid of stuff. And it's not just like they want to be nice and be like, oh, we're going to do this cool sale for you guys. Take advantage. Oh, we love you guys. Boom. It's
Yeah.
not that. It's
No.
clearly like, we have a bunch of shit we got to get rid of. So, like, let's make it cheaper. So that's obviously something we have constantly said has been an issue for this company. And it's been an issue for their overproducing things and like that whole thing, right? We've said this a lot. But yeah, 70% off. What's interesting is they're really riding this whole fan rewards. So we've talked about this with the exclusives.
Yep.
Now, this sale is for fan rewards. So you have to have a fan rewards account. And when you sign in, obviously, you get it. You can get these things on sale. But I know you posted a short about this. Like, it's just tons of exclusive stuff, which
Yeah.
is kind of sad because, like,
It's sad.
exclusive, the word kind of makes it seem like it's rare, it's special, it's only that,
Not anymore.
and it's not. This is clearly just mass produced, random, quote unquote, exclusive comments. So let's just put it that way, because it's just like so much, and they're 70% off. It is funny. I want to get your take on what you think about this for the company, but I did want to mention this because I said it, I believe, last week. How they posted this like funny thing on, like, guys, you really want to make sure you're a fan reward member. Make sure you sign up, and they're hinting towards something special. And we kind of laughed about it, but we didn't really say what we thought it would be. We just kind of were like, I wonder. And it was clearly this. like, become a rewards member.
I would like
can't
to.
wait.
I
You're
would
gonna
like
get
this to be proven wrong,
70%
but
off.
yeah, it's this.
Yeah, let's get something else special. But this just happens to be too perfect of time. And actually, the text where it says 70% off statewide, site-wide, sorry, that actual font is the same
Font.
as the font that said, like, become a rewards member. So it's clearly
it's
that.
just it's sad. I feel like we always are Debbie Downing on Funko, but it's crazy. It's a first, and I'm happy. What I'm about to say is like, this is the first San Diego Comic Con like exclusive. I didn't buy anything. I've never not bought in at least one thing, and everything I would have wanted, I can get now on sale.
It just shows because it probably still has San Diego Comic Con
nothing
stuff, right?
really sold out, and it's just like, yeah, I miss the days where it sold out. You had to get it. And like, I even look at the One Piece ones because I know, like, when you and I got into One Piece, and then, I started collecting it more than you, but like, there were certain pieces like I really wanted. And, the ships were always like grails of the cons.
Yeah,
and they sold out immediately. And this doesn't even happen anymore because they're making so many. It's just like, it's bad business 101. Like, they saw this is Funko's problem in general. They saw a good thing. They're like, okay, let's make tons more. But like, they like tripled down and made like way too many that now they can't even sell out a product that used to be so hype. And I don't think it's because One Piece collectors or anime collectors, yada yada, or even someone like myself don't want them anymore. They just made more than anyone was ever buying them. It's just because they're still cool pieces. It's wild.
Yeah. It just sucks because it's getting to a point that, like, and this is why the company has been so different than when it used to be. Because back in the day, an exclusive would drop, you try to go after it, it would sell out. You were like, oh man, they didn't restock it, it was gone. if you wanted to build your collection and get some crappy commons that no one's buying, they would throw them on sale. You go on, buy 10 pops, great deal.
Yep.
Everyone was happy. But that's not what's happening now. Like what's happening now is like they drop something that's quote unquote exclusive, doesn't sell.
Everything's yeah.
And then it sits around. It either gets sent to these like low stores, like these crazy budget stores, or they put it on sale for a massive number. And then like it's no longer like you're not like super excited, like, oh, I can buy so much pops because they're all on sale. Cause it's not exciting anymore. You're not like, and maybe some people are. I mean, we're just two people here. So you
Yeah,
guys can
we're
be
just two.
completely against us. Let us know. But I don't know if like if clearly this was an exclusive and it didn't sell out, it obviously was not that exciting back when it dropped. Like, what makes it nice now? Just because it's a few dollars, $5, $10 for a pop, which is kind of closer to what it used to be back in the day,
Anyway,
anyways. Like, so it's like, I don't know. It's like a double-edged sword, I guess. But it's just, I don't see this as like a positive thing. Now, obviously, dumping things and kind of starting over with this whole new CEO and stuff like may be the way to go. So if that's what's going to happen, then so be it. But I think we're just speaking more on like where this like just the image of Funko is now, where it's like it's no longer just super sought after things. It's just a lot of stuff that kind of sits around. It doesn't get sold, and now they just got to kind of price
get
it
rid of
down
it.
to finally try to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't even looked at the site or anything to see what's on it. Like, I haven't bought something from Funko in so long. But if you guys did, if you're excited, if you think this is a great thing, like let us know. Definitely comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Maybe you don't buy as many things, and this is a good opportunity to like, oh, hey, maybe I'll go on there and get something that I was like on the fence on. Which then again, Funko pop prices went up. So like them being discounted, maybe you didn't want to get them when they're at that price because
Yeah.
the economy now is crazy and all that stuff, and these are more expensive. Now you can get something for $5 or $10, $7, whatever. So if that's the case, it's cool. But we're looking at it more like where the company is, what this really means, rather than
Yeah.
just like, oh, they got a cool sale out. If that makes sense.
Exactly. Like back in the day, we'd be like, "Oh, it's a cool sale." Now it's just like, "Oh yeah, they're just trying to get rid of stuff."
Yeah. Yeah. It's messy. It's not really where, it's not exciting, but they're just doing a lot of weird things and currently, which is strange that this is all happening with this whole turnover at the same time. But another thing is this kind of ties to is the exclusive stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we have talked about these a lot. Obviously, the Star Wars one was a big deal, Star Killer last time, and Charlie was very upset about that just because it was near impossible. That thing just disappeared. But lately, these like pops have been coming out as exclusives. But most recently, we started getting word that Funko's now going to kind of, it seems like, put these other random retailers are going to have access to essentially having a special like
Yeah.
exclusive to their site or store if they happen to have one, whatever. And now we're getting a lot more pops kind of popping up here and there that are exclusive to these stores. Some of them are
Places.
people
Yeah.
that we know, some are very random places that we've never heard of. But I don't know. I don't know. I hope this isn't like their version of what you said. Like this is for the collector and the other ones are for the mass, because it's not really, I think, what they should be doing. But what do you think about that? Like, first of all, what do you think about like the whole random people doing it? And then we'll talk about one specific pop that was kind of the talk of the
Yeah.
town
I think
this
it's
whole day.
weird spreading the wealth to random people at this point in their life cycle. Like maybe when they was super hyped, it could have been more fun. Now it just seems weird. Like, why are you giving one of these limited editions to like a whatnot shop? And I just think another reason I don't like this, and this is nothing for me to like hate on flippers, but now I just think this is a flipper game because what a lot of the flippers product they used to, buy and, quote unquote make a living off of doesn't work anymore. So now they're doing it with these limited pieces. Like I feel like it's more resellers buying these than are actually fans who really want them. Like I know we talked about it last week, but like the whole Star Killer one, they were all up on eBay before they were in anyone's hands. Basically, only
Yeah.
I wish I went through the eBay listings and counted them all. It probably would have been the piece count of the freaking
Mm-hmm.
pop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's like another thing that just sucks about this whole strategy. I think it's cool that they're limited. I like that they're hard to get and they're selling out, but I think the jury's still out of, is this actual hype within the real community, or is it the flipper community? If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's hard to ever really get
You'll
an
never
answer for
know.
that. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, like we have one of the ones that's an interesting one that's going to go on like that whatnot, like you were saying, is Evend is going to be the exclusive. So whoever that is the one that's going to have this Super Saiyan Goku, 1,200 pieces, and they basically starting September 1st on whatnot are going to be dropping this. It looks like they're gonna spread it out. I don't know if they're
Yeah,
getting
which is
all of
also
the
weird.
1,200. Like I don't. It's strange. So like that's what they're doing, and then another one which this was like very talked about recently is the like a Lilo and Stitch pop, which obviously the character's not Lilo, but it's Leroy, one of the characters, and that one is an exclusive to Toy Temple. Who we know Toy Temple, we see them. They go to the conventions and stuff. They've been around for a while. They're actually officially like a Funko authorized retailer, is what they
Yeah.
have on their. So obviously they sell a lot of Funko products and whatever, and they're the ones that are going to be exclusive to this. This pop is a 1,200 piece exclusive, and they sold it on their website, and from what everyone's saying, it was gone in seconds. They limited, this is another thing which is crazy, it was limit one per
Per
like
person.
transaction
Yeah.
sale. So like that was even more like, wow, was there really that many people? Like I
It
don't
still
know.
sold
I
out
don't know
quick.
about the
Yeah.
hype of this pop. It's kind of strange, but like it seems like there was all those people, and then they obviously didn't only put it on the website because I believe there was a picture that was posted that looks like one of their stores or storefront or something of a toy. I believe a Toy Temple had like a ton of them behind the counter, and some people were saying that they were able to go to one and get it with no issues. Some people said that there was a line, so it's kind of interesting, but they're just falls into that whole thing where it's just another retailer that has their own exclusive. Um, and then there's even like a Stone Cold Steve Austin that is like popped up somewhere where like WrestlingShop.com is gonna have this as an exclusive, and this is a 9,500 piece. The pop is like whatever, it looks like a normal Stone Cold, but it has like the what with the quote bubble, which we already kind of said we don't like those anyways. But it's 9,500 pieces, which is like, yeah, it's like rare, quote unquote, because it has a piece count, but that's obviously a very high number. Um, but like, how many people are going to go to WrestlingShop.com? I don't know. And what's funny is that like we used to joke about this, like NFL and MLB and going
Yeah.
to games, like they should have these things. And this is kind of that because it's like it's wrestling only. We talk about it with the bands, like musicians, they should be on their band website. So like that's not what I think is strange here. I just think it's like kind of like out of nowhere, and it's a lot of different ones that I don't know if this is a smart thing or what. I don't know. I'm just like I don't even know what to think.
Here's the reason I think they're doing it. It's because they're selling the inventory to these um third parties, so it's already off their books. I'm going with that's why they're doing this. So from that aspect, now that I'm thinking about it, it may not be a bad business practice, but it's weird. This is the way it's going. They're going about it, especially because we in the community are used to like the Target exclusives, the Walmart exclusives. They're essentially like replacing these with these like small random ones
Yeah.
who maybe they think they're going to get traffic to their business,
Hmm.
and yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I
it's
just
interesting you said that though, because I did want to mention that kind of goes hand in hand with a little bit of what we hinted with the CEO coming in and everything is that the relationship with Target and Walmart and those
yeah,
places isn't in the best place, it seems like lately. So, like, maybe that's why they pivoted towards
it
these
could be.
other places. Like, yeah, Target's still selling their stuff. Walmart's still selling their stuff, like all these big, massive Hot Topics and stuff like that. But you're not seeing as many exclusives to those anymore lately. There's not as many Target exclusives, not as many Walmart, that kind of stuff. Like, we have the Thrill Joy companies in the world who are dealing with Hot Topic now and Box Lunch, and we're getting a lot of exclusives through them, but like we're not seeing as much Funko. So clearly that relationship kind of seems to be a little messy. So maybe that's why they're like, all right, let's find these other companies. Some
Could
are
be.
well known, like Toy Temple. Some no one, we have no idea what are these other ones. So it's like maybe that's just kind of what they're doing. But it is interesting because it's kind of all happening all at once. And I don't
And
hate that they're like getting other people to be exclusives and we're getting like these special things that are only going to be there because we've seen it at their cons, like those random stores
those
that are only in the
booths. Yeah.
Midwest and stuff. And like, they are the only ones that get exclusives and we can't really see them. Like it's happened. It is what it is. It makes it a little more special, harder to get. If you really want it, you go buy it off somebody. It's the only way. But it just is, it's like strange that we're seeing this all kind of like at once now, and it's popping up at a lot of random
I
different
really
places.
think based off of us talking now, like that's probably what it is. And it's, they have a built-in maybe fan base of knowing like, okay, Toy Temple, we know people buy product from there. They'll have a special one where at this point, Target, Funko has become a joke in Target, which is just crazy because like fast forward like 5 years ago, I mean, I would go on hunts at Target and couldn't get any of their exclusives because they would be sold out
Mhm.
instantly. Like it's crazy to think that was a thing. Like me and my wife would be going nuts, calling different ones going when they came out. Now they're like we say, they're in the clearance section.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's just, and I'm seeing like something that Dish Tracker posted a little bit more specific with. So based off of what he's hearing, essentially, is that Funko is requiring these small stores that are in the U.S. to make these LE exclusives a special drop. So like they can't just like come out with stuff, whatever. Like it has to be something kind of special, like a certain day. Okay, these are gonna drop.
yeah,
He's thinking that the best way to do it is like a first come, first serve type of thing. Like, we're gonna have thousands of these pops are brand new, they're exclusive, they're dropping at 10 o'clock. Good luck. Boom. 10 o'clock goes and you buy them, you get them, you don't. Um, but I guess like the back and forth is kind of like, should it be in person? Should people be able to do it online? But a lot of people are commenting, regardless of what it ends up being, someone's gonna think it's not fair. Someone's gonna think it's not the right way. Like it's just that's the way it is in the world we're in, that like not everyone's gonna be happy. Whether you do
no.
it online,
Quite
whether you do it
frankly,
in
you know what they
person.
should be doing? Funko should have their own Whatnot channel, and they should be dropping all these
They
exclusives
should,
on Whatnot.
because that's the only thing I think that is a little, it's the whatnot one. Obviously that EVN thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Like the whatnot part of it is what kind of is strange. Like, and we've been on whatnot, we've sold on whatnot, we've definitely bought a lot of stuff on whatnot from multiple places, but we also know that there's some shady practices when it comes to whatnot and a lot
Yes.
of sellers. So it just doesn't seem like the right place for that kind of a thing. But it is what it is. Other people are kind of saying that one page or company or whatever is a little shady already, a little bit. So supposedly they have active lawsuits against them. That's
Oh,
what some people are saying in the comments. So again,
okay.
we don't know. This is all allegedly, but it just kind of gives you like an issue. Like then again, whatnot. There's massive companies that have whatnot pages too, though. So like, like Chalice Collectibles, they
Yeah.
sell on whatnot, I believe, right? And they're a huge company. So like, if you've seen it through there, that's fine. That makes sense. Obviously, we follow big companies like V Friends and stuff like that too that do that. But I guess when it's kind of like that small company that you never really heard about, that's when it gets a little like shady. But
Agreed.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, this works out for them, and I guess we'll see what happens going forward. But it's going to be messy regardless. People are going to be not happy, and other people's will be happy.
Yeah,
But
no one's going to be happy
it's
with
just
these
what it
limited
is.
drops. It just is what it is.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But we'll pivot. I think we have a couple news things that are non-Funko related
Yes.
that we wanted to cover. You can start off with one. I know you got a few that we want to kind of talk about that are in the collecting space, but not
Yeah, I
specifically
mean,
Funko and stuff.
the one I want to talk about, which is kind of funny because like they're doing it in an amazing way that Funko just isn't anymore, is Pop Mart. They're going to be coming
Yes.
out with a new, obviously, blind box series of all the One Piece ships.
Mm-hmm.
We only have a date so far for Asia, but this is exactly how like the One Piece, the Monsters collab
Yeah,
went down.
I
Then they
know. Because
ultimately
at first I was
came.
like, "Fuck, it's not going
I
out,"
know,
but yeah,
but
I'm
these
sure it
are
will.
so cool. They're like basically miniature models of them, and I mean, we're getting basically every. I'm pretty sure ship that's like been in the anime or manga.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
13
Yeah,
with the secret, I think.
and they are so detailed. They're like such a perfect size. I mean, they look like
Yeah, details are cool on them.
they're just. This is a sick drop. This is super hype for me. Like once again, we say all this all the time. Now, Funko should be doing stuff like this. I think these are gonna be popular when they come on Pop Mart. I mean, I'm debating if I want them all. They look so cool. But these are like a perfect, I think, if you're a fan, display piece
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're a great size.
Yeah, they look great. I mean, and it's interesting because I'm assuming they're gonna be a little bit bigger than they kind of seem. Because like in the pictures, they look like it just feel like they're tiny. But I would guess they're like similar size to the Labubu One Piece set.
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah,
sure they're
I would
like a
assume.
couple inches. Yeah, so it's like, but because with all the detail and colors and everything on them, they look great. But yeah, I totally agree. This is an amazing set. Pop Mart continues to just crush it with
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
out of
their
control.
lines. Obviously, the One Piece collections that they have, they had that Labubu one, which was massive. Same thing, like you said, it was in Asia. People going crazy buying them for ridiculous prices. Then they did start to come over here, and now they were a little bit easier to get at the time when they started dropping through Pop Mart into the website. But now they're kind of like gone. Like you don't really see
Well,
them as
that's what's
often, which I
so
like that they kind of do that.
agreed. But that's what's so interesting about Pop Mart, which they've never claimed that any of their stuff is limited. It obviously
Yeah,
sells out. They remake some of them, but like, isn't it funny no one complains about that because they're in
yeah,
demand and people want them?
yeah.
Like, it's kind of that whole. It's just
I mean, it's the
wild.
same thing with like Labubu's. It's like
No, that's
there's
what I
no
mean. Like
actual number to them.
all
It's
of the
not
Pop Mart
like
product. Yeah, that's what I mean.
like
And it's crazy though, but they can't keep those things on the
yeah,
shelves. It just makes me think. We always are complaining about piece count for Funko, but sometimes if your product's just that fire, it doesn't matter.
yeah. I mean, it also will come back to this, and we've said this multiple times. And I know we both agree on this. Is the whole blind box like
Yeah,
thing is just the thing. Like that's the most exciting thing right now. That's what's fun. That's what's exciting. And it's just that's what we need more of from some other companies. And it just makes collecting like really a better
experience.
experience. Exactly. So like they're doing it, and that's what we like that they're doing. And I mean, it's gotten me into other random things. I mean, between the minisos and the pop marts of the world, and with my daughter, and collecting different types of things, whether it's Disney characters or movies or shows,
Yeah,
it's just fun. And like obviously these are great. Like such a perfect, cool set. And especially if there's like some kind of display thing that you can get for these with the ships, I think it would be
so
like
cool.
really, really cool to see as a set. But I agree, that's one of the things that I was also very hyped to see once we were both talking about that coming out. Initially, I didn't realize it was strict, going to be in Asia first. But again, like you said, it's the same thing, kind of like with the One Piece collab with the Labubu stuff, so it makes sense. But after I saw it, I was like, damn. I was like, now we have to wait probably even longer. But
I know.
I guess we'll see when they come over. So yeah,
Worth
the
the
One
wait.
Piece Grand Line series vehicles is what they're calling it. So those are great. So another thing that will be, well, I think you can order them now, I think, right? Is Topps is
Yeah,
coming out with their Star Wars Chrome set for 2025. Amazon Fanatics
yeah.
starting to have
The
these.
blasters look like they're available right now.
Yeah, blasters, and then the hobby. Oh, do you know the date?
Dude, it's just like they always do. Like they sold out instantly, like a few weeks ago when they
It
did their
did,
like
right? Okay.
weird pre-order.
On a pre-order,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I tried to get them, couldn't get them, sold out in seconds.
Crazy fast. And the prices are kind of wild.
And yeah, they just recently I did pre-order some from Amazon because I mean these cards are sick.
Hobby box or the
Not a hobby,
blasters?
just the blasters.
Oh,
Like
okay, okay.
I feel like the hobby boxes are going to be like now impossible to get. It's just
I know.
funny. Like the more that I've gotten, both of us have gotten into cards. It is crazy how like you kind of get if you can get those when they drop, that's when you're going to get them. If not, you're paying
Yeah, and
piper.
we're both in the same boat that we're not
Yeah, I'm
doing
not.
that. Like
I don't
regardless
need
of
it
what
that
it
bad.
is,
It's
or
not
yeah,
worth it.
exactly. There's people that do that, but we're not in that boat. But yeah,
No.
these do look cool.
So I like they kind of, this is a set they come out with every year. It seems like I mean, I've done my research now because I got some of them last year, but I was too late to the game. And then they'll come out with special Star Wars things out here or there. But like that's like it for the year, which that's another thing I like that I've now with my like newer collectibles. It's like they're here or there. You don't need to be like Funko. Every week they're like talking about something new. I think that also makes collecting a little more manageable now and fun because like you don't feel like you need to be like getting all of this stuff.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, Star Wars specifically, it's very similar to actually. It's funny that we both have totally different sides of fandoms, but like UFC. I mean, you're obviously a fan of UFC, and they do a very similar type of thing where they'll come out with like a Topps Chrome, like kind of more of a general release. The hobby stuff will be, more sought after. Then they'll have like different variations of top stuff that'll come out. And then they'll have like the high end, like sapphire type things, and those, which a box of those is always ridiculously priced at retail, let alone what it resells for.
I know.
And it's kind of crazy because you're guaranteed some pretty sick hits, but it's just like, oh man, like you got to shell out money. And dude, it's just wild because I watch, I'm sure you also do, but like I watch a lot of YouTube, like breaker channels basically, and people and they're not even like selling stuff necessarily. Like they have websites a lot of the times and they'll post things, but their whole big thing is just buying cases of stuff and ripping it open and see what they get, right? And I'm looking at these things and I'm like, and I'm talking about cases. So they're getting like 14, 16 boxes. And these are like $300 a box. And I'm just like, how the, like, what are these people doing? But then again, it's like basically their job at that point.
Their
like
job.
They're big enough that that's literally what they do. But
I mean, it's crazy.
just
The
like,
V-Friend Sapphire, they go for $7,000 to $10,000.
That's a whole nother like
It's
world
insane.
that we even said that with the other,
it's
just the
out of control.
The boxes lately from Chrome, which were hundreds when they came out, they were not even $100. So
yeah.
the
card world in general, it's just real.
bro. It's insane. The card world is insane. And kind of speaking of, I don't know if you saw this, but I did want to talk about. There's a couple card things. I'll let you mention one that I know you are a little more excited about, but one that I saw, I don't know if you saw it. Let me pull it up real quick because I know. Okay, so this was a few days ago, and it was on Fanatics, and it looked like they did like an EQL type of thing, like a raffle that you had to win. 300, it was EQL on the 13th, so this already happened, but I still want to talk about it. But Topps website had an EQL for Marvel Mint. Did you see that?
I saw those. I looked at it for a second.
Bro, $300 EQL.
Yeah,
it's one card.
When I saw that, I was.
But it could. I think technically you could get a couple random base cards because it's one encased card guaranteed per box.
Yeah.
So you do get a couple other, probably just throw away random base, or maybe I think it actually was like a pack of base or something. But one card is in like a nice case, like the encased ones, which that's obviously like the hit. It's a big card. Maybe you're getting your money back, I'm assuming. But like, bro, like the chance on that is crazy. And these things still sell. Like they're gone. Dude, so it's not like you could even get it.
It's insane because
you get one pack and one like encased card essentially.
That's like the one thing that more I've like gotten really deep into like the hobby of trading cards. It's like sometimes I'm like, does anyone actually just collect because it's fun, or is it truly just to make money? Because like that box is a perfect example. Yeah. It's just like the dopamine hit of like the gambling addict itch in trading cards is unlike anything else. It's there's nothing in terms of, in my opinion, like the hobby world.
Yeah.
And I could just tell, not to stereotype people, but like you said, watching a bunch of these YouTube videos, being in whatnots, like a lot of these people are just, they can't stop. And like, this is when I look at this, for example, like, who the hell is gonna buy that, in my opinion, and then just like want to just like, I feel like you can't keep it in your collection if you pull something huge. Like, the whole point is like, you're gambling. Are you going to make money? Are you not? Are you getting over or under?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the one thing I have found like weird about the hobby. Like, I never felt that way in like figure collecting or the vinyl collecting. Like, where trading cards, I like want to collect my like a set of stuff, but
Yeah.
it's weird.
No, I know. And what's funny is like, and maybe it's just me, but I also find like if you do pull, because for the most part we get like sports cards, right? Like, and I've pulled some like nice cards. I've actually pulled a one card randomly of some random guy, and I pulled some nice autograph cards, and like I'll check, and sometimes it's like a decent price. Like, okay, this is
Yeah.
raw at a good price. If I get it graded, it's even at a better price. But then I find myself like thinking two things. It's like, one, I have never graded a card in my life. So like then I'm thinking like I should get some of these graded. But how do I get them graded? What's the process? Where should I
Yeah.
go? Do I have money for this? I don't know. And then they end up not getting graded, essentially, is what my point is, right? And then the second thing is, even if I graded or not graded, right? Is like, oh, it's worth $100. Oh, it's worth $300. Where do I even sell these? Do I go on eBay? Who do I go to? Like, I'm in that predicament. So like what ends up happening, and this is literally for the last couple of years that me and you got really hardcore into card specific collecting, is I just have stacks of cards.
Same.
and I don't like it
My
ends up,
good ones
and it
are in a
could be a
special
card that like
box.
I rather and I rather sell it because it's like I'm not a super hardcore fan of it or whatever. And it's like, oh, it was a nice pull. I could sell it. But I don't end up doing it. So I end up just sitting with it. So that just makes me think like every time I open something, I'm always like, if I get that one card that like I'm calling up Golden and trying to see if you can auction it, right? That's what I think. But then when it's not that, you're like, oh, cool, that's a cool card. Put it to the side.
I know.
Put it in a sleeve, put it on a hard stack, whatever. That's it. It's just like it's funny. But I did see on this, I believe it was this card set that someone pulled like a Doom comic, like a cutout of a comic.
Sick.
Bro, there's some cards that are crazy. And speaking of Golden, actually, did you see he was ripping open some of these boxes?
Yes, I did.
At like a convention or some kind of thing. One of those guys.
Yeah, because
that set is nuts.
Yeah,
but they came out with a lesser set too, I think, right? That sold out pretty crazy. I think Marvel. I think they've had a few.
Yeah, they came out with the Sapphire one, and then they came out with the normal Chrome one.
Yeah, so.
But this was, because our boy that we met at New York Comic Con, he was making videos opening them from Golden.
Yeah, that guy. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, though the one thing, at least the one card, it's in like a super nice like.
Oh yeah, and even if it's like not a crazy character, I'm assuming they're cards that are worth money. You're gonna.
Yeah, I feel like you're
most
not
part
really gonna
get your
lose.
value.
Yeah, agreed. But the whole concept of it is just like, because that's even like, I think with V Friends, like I love V Friends. It's one thing my wife has gone into collecting with me, and we like it, but like. As Megs, and we talk about it on this podcast, it's weird. We haven't talked about V Friends in a while because it's just like we can't get anything for V Friends, so we're not talking about it. But like, it's just such the flipper hustle culture. It's just crazy because even though a lot of that community does want to keep a set for themselves, but then they're also hoping to pull that 101 that they can flip, and they think they're gonna ride off into the sunset and live a new
life. Everyone wants to do a quick, easy way.
Exactly.
To make a buck.
But that's obviously that way with all sports cards. It's just it's just such an interesting, and then getting the autographs, and I'm really going off on a tangent, but it's just so funny because there's always a group of people who ruin the hobby. And I saw today the Met, this is really off topic, but I want to bring it up because I find it funny. The Mets were at the Little League World Series basically the whole team went, and they
Mhm.
were meeting a bunch of people, signing autographs, and there's like a barrier, and like Lindor is walking by. I mean, there's hundreds of people, and there's a bunch of kids throwing out balls, and like then there's these like two adults, probably like one our age and one who's like could be like in his 50s, jumping over the kids, throwing out like they want him to sign his cards. They knew they were going to be there. Lindor, in the most professional way, just acts like they don't exist. It's like that
Mhm.
was his own fu to them. But it's just funny because those guys just want. There's no way. It was funny in the comments. Everyone's like, eBay, going to eBay. Like they don't even want him for themselves.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing. If I was there, I would actually want that because he's my favorite player. But he doesn't know that. He just thinks I'm probably some dude who wants to make money off
Yeah.
of it.
No, but honestly, the I will say the athletes have gotten pretty smart and pretty good when it comes to that, where usually they'll call out the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, you got the football or baseball or something, you want them to sign it quick. You got a kid with a poster or whatever, like, they're gonna do their things. You got a hat, whatever. But then it's like you see the guy with a cardboard cutout with like
Yes.
5 cars and whatever, and it's like sign here, sign here. It's like, you know what the fuck it is. And Aaron Rodgers, speaking of,
Yeah.
called out some bullshit on a guy, and I thought it was hilarious because he straight up was calling out the guy. Like, he had tickets, I think is what it was, like original tickets to like this game or whatever it was, a championship game or something. And he was basically saying like, "Oh, I had an amazing time with this game, Baba. Can you sign these?" And Rogers clearly was calling us bullshit that like he didn't even go to the game. He didn't know specific things about the game. He was asking him questions to kind of
Just to
figure
flip
out.
him.
He knew he was just like a flip guy, and he wouldn't sign it. And like, I think that's great. It's like whatever.
So do I.
But it does suck, like if it's like you're truly a fan, and you got something, and But I wouldn't take it personally. I wouldn't be butthurt because I do understand that like somebody like us going there and like a kid, it's gonna look different, and usually you're gonna
Totally.
in the culture and it's just the way it is now. Back in the day, not at all. People probably sign everything.
They wouldn't
don't
have
give a
cared.
shit.
But yeah, that's
But now that's just like a whole different like the stigma. It's just crazy. So I understand that. It makes sense. But yeah. But there
yeah.
is another
There's another
card
set.
set that I know you're a little more excited about. I know shit about this, but
Yeah. So we're now
it seems pretty big too.
Yeah,
set.
it's pretty sick. I mean, we're getting Magic the Gathering Avatar, The Last Airbender set. And between this, the new one we have coming out soon is a Spider-Man one. Before that, Final Fantasy. I mean, right now, Magic the Gathering is kind of crushing it with these collabs, which I just, like I said, I kind of teased this earlier. I kind of just find this funny because a lot of people gave Cynthia crap for kind of delving into this world. I mean, Magic strictly used to be like off in its own island. I mean, it is like the OG TCG, but like it was pretty, I guess I can't say niche, but like you liked Magic. Most of those people probably play the card game. It's now completely changed to it's hit the mainstream, especially with these IP collabs. Some of these cards are being pulled, like the Final Fantasy when they're going for thousands of dollars. The moment you couldn't get those when they came out, the MSRP is out of control.
Yeah,
I feel like that's going
and
to
these
happen.
things are selling quick. The actual retail boxes are
they're
gone,
selling quick. The Marvel ones, like they go up on Amazon. They kind of have sold out immediately. The pre-orders. I'm assuming this is going to happen in the Avatar ones. But
yeah, I think that people are saying in the comments that we're gone in seconds. So,
but the thing that's even crazier about it can get a little overwhelming. Even I don't know much about it, even though I do want some of these, just because I'm into the trading cards now. But like, there's what they're calling the play boosters and the collector boosters, and I think your chances of getting stuff in the collector boosters are just like so much higher than in the play boosters. But like, dude, retail they're like $400.
jeez.
Like it's insane. One pack is like 40. It's let us know in the comments if you're into Magic, because it's something I'm trying. I mean, I don't ever foresee myself playing the game, but when they come out with an IP that I love, like I want to get them because they're cool. It's fascinating to me where this is at right now because
Yeah.
it's kind of blown
I
up.
mean,
And
it's
I
smart. It's definitely smart though, because like, it's called a spade, bro. Like, if you collected magic, like most
yeah,
people are probably like, you're a nerd,
yep,
you're some magic or
yep,
whatever. It is what it is.
yep,
And like that, like you said, yeah, it's niche in the sense of like it was a very specific person. Mostly like, not that you couldn't do multiple things, but like if you did just magic, that was probably the only thing you really
that was your
did. You
big
weren't like
hobby.
just getting everything, right? So like that was your thing. And it was the game. It was playing the game, getting cards to like hardcore play the game. And it wasn't necessarily just like collecting, like to like sell things, whatever. I think the first real thing that really blew that up was that ring, the Lord of
The
the
Lord of the
Rings.
Rings. Yep.
And that's when it was like, oh, this is 101. This has value. It sold for a ridiculous number. And then people were like, oh, wow, this could be like a thing too. The collector side of things, the exclusivity side of things, the flipping side of things, whatever it was. And I'm sure there's still people that are just hardcore magic players.
Yeah.
But I think as a company, Magic like was very smart and really jumping into the IPs and the collabs. Like this is like a super smart way to get people who probably don't know anything about Magic, or if they heard about it and they had this certain like way
Yeah.
of thinking of what it was, it can get them into maybe buying something. But because we're in the world that we're in, like I was talking about with the autographs and everything like that, is that now everything is just so much about like, I got to get the hottest thing that sells out. And once it sells out, that means everyone wants it. I'm going to be able to sell it for this X dollar, whatever. And that's just a world we're in. And it has nothing to do with just cards. That's the world we're in with
Yeah.
sneakers. That's the world we're in with cards, with toys, with collectibles, whatever it is. That's just the bags, clothes. Like that's
Yeah.
just the world we're in. And it's like, it's always going to be something. And then unfortunately for us who like these things, it's harder to get. And then when you see an opportunity to get it, it's going to be resold. It's at numbers that just don't make sense to us. Like we
No.
don't want it that bad.
No, definitely not. And I'm too principled of a person. Like, I'm not gonna buy this booster box for $1,000 when I know I
Yeah.
could have got it for
I mean,
200.
you said it before. Like we love V Friends.
Yeah.
We love them. Where they're at right now is kind of wild, and we just won't touch it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean we don't like it any less. Like we still love the characters. We still truly love the cards. If we can get something, we're gonna get it. But when a box, for instance, like a booster box that they had at GameStop or whatever, that was like
20.
retail like
Yeah.
$20,
Yeah.
they're selling for like $300 and $400. Like we're just not gonna do it. Someone's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Congrats, Gary and everyone. You're gonna make money, and it's still a thing. But we still love you, support you, and all that. But like, we're not gonna buy that box. Like that's just not what we're gonna do.
No.
And that's kind of what's happening with some of these other things. And like even this set, it's pretty sick. And like, I'm not a huge Avatar like Airbender, fan, but like I know it and it's cool. I love the artwork, but the artwork on this is like amazing. And
Super
these
cool.
boxes are crazy. Like there's a commander bundle, there's a collector
There's
bundle, there's
so
a play
much.
booster, there's a jumpstart booster. Like they have so many different things that are all coming out at once. And the closest thing I can kind of compare this to that I was once collecting was like Lorcana.
Yep.
Like when that was first coming out, there was like different packs, different versions, and it was a game that you could play, but there was a collector side of things. There was some exclusive cards, there was stuff that was a little hard to get. And that's kind of what we really started collecting it as. But then it just like they came out way too many sets.
They
But
pulled a
this
Funko.
seems to be a lot more spread out, and they're very exclusive and they're hard to get. And if you can get one, it's cool. If not, you gotta wait for the next set essentially. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Now, did you try to get any of these?
I did. I was able to get like I pre-ordered one of them, and and once again for me they're just cool because I want to have I like looking at the artwork and the cards. But the thing that I also find interesting about this hype right now is, out of all these collectible trading card games, like I feel like this is like once again the one that's most played. And I have read like this is kind of hurting the hobby for those type of people because they
The
can't get their
player,
hand on the players because they can't
yeah,
get their hand on the
dude,
product.
yeah, or makes sense.
It's just such an
It probably
interesting
does suck,
thing.
but
But I am curious, like anyone who does listen to our podcast, if you know about Magic, you collect Magic, you play it, like, let us drop it in the
Yeah, like
comments, because
OG
like
Magic.
definitely I want to know what your opinion is on these drops, because I do know at one point people were really against the IPs. But I don't know if that's just because, they're such purists and they're like, we don't want people to ruin our hobby, which kind of weirdly is maybe happening. But nonetheless, I still think it's super cool. And like, they've gotten someone like myself, who I collected a few Magic cards back in the day because it was like a thing at one point where my summer camp, I never really understood how to play the game and just was like, yeah, no,
I never.
I'm sticking with Pokemon. Like,
I barely even knew what a card looked like, what the rule was at all. Like I never was into it at all to even know anything about it. But yeah, this does bring more people into it, and obviously maybe that's a bad thing for those purists of the actual original Magic stuff in the game. But for everyone else, it kind of gets you in on a new collectible, something new, especially if it's an IP that you are a huge fan of.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's interesting either way. But I think that was it. I don't really know if I had anything else that you could think of.
Only if you wanted to talk about that one Funko Pop.
Hold on, because there was two that we were kind
of the artist.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's an artist, a pop coming out, reggaeton artist Fade, which is a little random. Some people probably have no idea who he is and whatever it is, but in the Hispanic reggaeton community, he's Colombian. He's massive, he's huge, so people will know about him. It's kind of an interesting pop because his like nickname and what he calls himself, whatever, is Fercho, which is why it's FERXXO. It's pronounced Fercho. It does like look like him, but what's funny is that it almost looks like a custom pop rather than like an actual one that was made by Funko, which I think is kind of odd. I don't know if it's. I started thinking about it more. I think it's because of the mouth.
Okay.
Because there are some pops that have mouths, but it's very, very few. And I feel like when you get one like custom, it almost always has a mouth. And I think that's what's kind of like making it look a little odd. But it is one that I think is cool to see because he is popular in that world. It's interesting that it's a glow in the dark, but there's like in the comments, at least your average person has no idea who he is. So like tons of people are in the comments like, what is this? This is a waste. This is why Funko's losing money, all this stuff. And it's like they don't understand, but like this guy's big. Like he's massive. So yeah, there's gonna be people out there that will get this. Funko, I will hand it to them, has stepped outside of like your generic, just regular pop star,
which is good
music, and they have gone to Latin artists and they have gone to other people that are popular. Some not as big and popular, surprisingly, and they still would have pop. So I'm not like super shocked when I see like he's one of the ones that they actually make. But yeah, I did want to point that out. Just shout out to him and the Latin people because that's pretty awesome. I love it. But I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. I just want to talk about that because I find it interesting because I think Cynthia, before she left, she said that was a big thing she wanted to get into. And I just found it interesting, especially when you brought that up. And Funko, you should be paid Taylor Swift whatever the heck she wants if you want to break records. Because I'm sure Thrilljoy's going to get that first, but whoever gets that license, they're going to be making a lot of money because people will just buy that no matter what. But yeah, I think that is our episode.
Yeah.
But a lot
great
of
episode.
Stuff.
Let us know. Let us know what you guys think about all the stuff we talked about all the way from the beginning with the CEO talk, Funko's crazy sales, what's going on, any of the stuff that we talked about is coming out or that we spoke at all about. Definitely make sure you guys are doing those comments down below.
And as always, you can find us at Collector Chatter and then at Collector_Migs, at Collector_Charlie. If you're listening on podcast platforms, thank you for listening over there. Please make sure you follow us, leave us a review. If you're on Spotify, answer the question per episode, and then come over to the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, if you could please subscribe to the channel, we'd really appreciate it. Hit that notification bell so you know when new videos and shorts come out. Leave us a comment, and please make sure you like this video. But once again, please answer in the comment section all the things we talk about. Are you collecting magic? Did you get anything from the sale? What do you think about the CEO? All those great things and more. And as always, until the next episode, collecting is the way. Later.
Peace out, everybody.